All right, great. Good morning. Creating an environment for creativity and empowerment is probably the deepest, most serious topic I've ever been asked to discuss, and they tell me I have 12 minutes to talk about this. So that's actually kind of appropriate. Okay, so this is actually a topic that I have cared about since I was a little boy, because I was a very strange little boy, right? So I used to, in my room, I would try to invent things. I wanted to be an inventor, so I'd make robot arms out of Legos and servos and Mercury switches, and I wanted to make a robot arm that so my mother could reach the can on the top shelf, right? I would sell this to mothers all around the world. And I spent not enough time on the contraptions that I came up with. I actually spent more time daydreaming and fantasizing about the company that I would have to create to manufacture and sell the contraption. So I'd sketch out logos and taglines, ad campaigns. I'd rehearse in front of the mirror. Every company, I made a loyalty card, like if you buy 9 robot arms, the 10th is free. So, I basically had no friends, but I'm really thankful because this made me fascinated with inventive companies. Not like lone wolf inventors, like Edison or Tesla or something, but groups of people who could consistently output innovation over and over and over again and make money with it. So I had a subscription to Business Week, like all little boys, and I'd get it and I'd just flip to any story about inventive companies like 3M or Lockheed Skunk Works, Xerox PARC, anything about the government like DARPA or the Manhattan Project, Those are great stories. You read enough of these, and you start to see common threads, right? They're all like renegades, weirdos in a company or organization that the rest of the company kind of doesn't want to work around, so they kind of push them to like the spare room or the warehouse. Skunk Works was actually in a circus tent near a stinky factory, like far away. But since they're all alone, the scientists are just like, they're free to dabble. They tinker, they experiment, and they fail all the time, and they drop stuff, and they're like, whoa, look at that, I just invented superglue. And it just makes money for the company. And that's what's fascinating to me. I would read those, and I just loved it. And, over time, I think I got rewired to think that was normal, like that's how companies should operate. So later in life, I start my company, and that's how I run it. I only hire weirdos, basically, and I just let them fail all the time. It just makes perfect sense to me. And you read enough of these stories, and you start to see that they do amazingly creative things in horribly deplorable conditions. Just like horrible warehouses with no heat, no running water, no nothing, but they're just amazingly creative. The SR-71 Blackbird, right there, from a circus tent. So, to me, running my company, lo and behold, in my little tiny industry, we're actually known for our creativity and our innovation. Or just flat out weirdness. It's the same thing to me. But we're known for that. And I haven't spent an ounce of energy or a minute of time caring at all what the office environment looks like. It doesn't matter. It's all up here. A beautiful office space doesn't make people creative. It's more of a byproduct of creativity. And that's really hard to explain to people. So I have one quote. I have a one-slide presentation here. Creativity is just connecting things. Steve Jobs said this, apparently, and I love it because it really illustrates my point. Most people, when they read this, they're like, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, connecting. Connecting is the word that they focus on. Yeah, it's like some crazy artiste, right? He's like open-minded and zen and under the influence just a little bit. And he can take, oh man, like chocolate and peanut butter connect, right? Right? Or like time relativity connect, or TED Talks and youth ministry connect, right? Pure genius, pure genius. So the problem, if you focus on connecting, is companies start worrying about, like, how do I add gadgets to make people connect more? Like, screw the conference room, throw out the table, let's get Aeron chairs or bean bags. Let's get bean bags and we'll just have brainstorming sessions all day, right? We'll get whiteboards. No, we'll get whiteboard paint. We'll go floor to ceiling. Nobody can reach the ceiling, but we're going to paint floor to ceiling. And everyone's going to go up there and diagram and connect, you know? Or the holy grail, digital whiteboards. Then everyone in the company, even customers will connect with you. Right? It's all connecting. But that's totally missing the point. The important word in this one sentence is things. Without things, you have nothing to connect. If you want a creative environment, you need to make an environment where you can constantly make people make things over and over again. It's all about the things. How do you inspire people to make lots of things, though? You have to think about how people get inspired to make things, right? Like, inspiration doesn't happen in the office. That's another reason I don't care about how the office looks. Inspiration happens out there, like Mr. Lee said, out in the environment. It happens when you're mowing the lawn or taking a shower or walking the dog or sitting under the apple tree. And then inspiration hits and you're like, oh my God, I've got to build that thing. I've got to do it. You throw away the dog, you say goodbye to your wife, and you just run. You run to work. You've got to build it. You're inspired. What happens when you get to work, typically? Staff meeting. Did you enter your expense report into the Microsoft SharePoint dynamic thing? Did you get my email about the lost password for the digital whiteboard? You get distracted with this kind of crap. Meetings. Or you overplan. Perfection hits. Like, you overplan and you scope creep yourself and you never actually get it done. Or you procrastinate. That's my problem. You procrastinate, you end up with one slide. You procrastinate and you never start. And, you check your email and your Facebook and Instagram. And nothing happens. So as a leader, you start to think, like, what do I do? How do I get people around this procrastination and distraction and everything? And there are all kinds of gimmicks, like getting things done and inbox zero and, all kinds of management tricks you can do. And they're fine. But the one variable you can tweak, where it really doesn't matter what industry you're in, it's the most effective variable, in my opinion, is time. Take away time. If somebody comes to you and says, I got this amazing idea for this thing I want to build. It's going to take me 3 months. Tell them, no, you got 1 month. That's it. They say, I've got an idea. It's going to take me 4 weeks. You tell them, you got 2 weeks. Thanks. It's crazy, but if you can do it, it's amazing what you'll see start to happen. In my company, we launch a new version of our software every 4 weeks. This is composed of little 1-week bursts of energy. I believe that people just can focus for 1 week on a project, and that's it. So the first week is planning and arguing and fighting. The second week is actual build-out, programming, and designing all of our new features, and lots of fighting and arguing. And then the third week is QA. Fourth week is frantically fixing everything from the previous weeks. But it's just 1 week increments. It's give people 1 week of intense focus. They can rest on the 7th day if you want, but mostly 6 days of intense focus. And then miraculous things will start to happen. They won't have those kickoff meetings where you outline success criteria. You'll just see Bob run over to Sally's desk and say, Sally, what do you want? Sally will run over to Jim's desk and say, Jim, what do you want? What did you tell Bob? And they'll get so sick of running that they'll just write it on a whiteboard somewhere, right? But things will start to get done. They'll still procrastinate. They'll still seek perfection, and they'll still get distracted, but they do it faster because they only have 1 week to get it done. And then cool things start to happen. They start doing so much, and things. I don't just mean like widgets, by the way, when I say things. I mean, it could be poems, it can be designs, it can be code, whatever it is you make. But they start making so many things, it clutters their desk, and they've got no room to do any more work, and they have to pin it up on the walls. Bam, you've got a creative-looking space now all of a sudden, right? You've got walls covered with whatever it is that they're making. Now, most of it will be complete crap, utter failures. They're going to flop because they only have a week. But you keep letting them do it. Let them fail over and over again, and they'll get faster, faster, and better. Just give them permission, give them room, let them fail, and they'll get better. Hang it up on the walls. Their walls will be beautiful. People will walk through and they say, wow, that's cool. That's cool. You guys ever thought about connecting those things? Bam, you've got a new product right there. Money starts rolling in. You can buy a pool table, foosball table, you know. Everything looks like really balling in your office. Time, you know, reduce the time. And it's the most powerful tactic that I can share with you, but it comes at great cost as well. If you're the leader of the group and you take away their time to help them build things, you have to balance the equation by giving time. You, as the leader of the group, have to spend an inordinate amount of time explaining to them why they're building what they're building, why they only have one freaking week to get it done. Some of the features that I launched, our customers say, great, nice, I like those. They took me 10 weeks of building up the reasons why my team had to get it done. I wish I could just dictate from up above. Tap that rock, you talk to that rock, I'll let you through, done. But they won't listen to me like that, you know? I have to explain why and let them choose to make those things. That's how you run a creative group. So if you can achieve that cadence, you start to see people building a lot more things, moving faster, connecting things faster, and being more creative. If you want a group that builds a lot of things and is very creative, you don't give them more gadgets or give them more tools. You give them less time. I think the man upstairs limits our time on this earth, so we'll just get off our butts and build cool things, actually. And I'm told I'm out of time. A couple more minutes? That's all I got.